passed when a group of hikers stumbled upon a solitary horse deep within the woods. Their astonishment knew no bounds. The sight of a horse in such an unexpected place left them bewildered. However, upon closer inspection, they made a truly unbelievable discovery. Join us as we delve into the remarkable events that unfold. The pain of losing a pet is an experience that many people can relate to. It's a harrowing ordeal when a beloved pet escapes from the yard, slips out of its leash, or vanishes in some other way. The agony of searching for a missing pet, not knowing their whereabouts, and fearing for their well-being is a heart-wrenching ordeal. Questions swirl in your mind. Are they frightened, hungry, or in danger? What are they going through at that very moment with no one to protect them? While the disappearance of a pet is a distressing and frightening occurrence, most owners of larger animals, like horses, probably assume they don't have to worry about such situations. Surprisingly, however, it does happen, as the story we're about to share illustrates. Our tale begins with Susan Crawford, a resident of York, Pennsylvania, who shared an inseparable bond with her cherished horse, Play-Doh, a chestnut Paso Fino horse. Susan and Play-Doh were no strangers to competitive trail riding. They often competed together. To prepare for these events, they explored parkland areas on horseback. Their experience in navigating these diverse trails was unparalleled, but even the most seasoned riders can find themselves in unforeseen predicaments. One day, Susan and Play-Doh ventured onto an unfamiliar trail, accompanied by a friend who was equally unfamiliar with the terrain. The path led them through a densely wooded area, and when they reached a fork in the road, they faced a dilemma. The limited visibility made it impossible to discern the correct route, so they made an educated guess and proceeded down one path. Unfortunately, their choice proved to be the wrong one, and they eventually found themselves at a dead end. The trail grew steeper, with a precarious edge. They attempted to turn back and return to the main trail, but the trail's edge started to crumble beneath them. They began sliding, and Play-Doh struggled to regain his footing. In the chaos, Susan was thrown from her horse, and the impact left her breathless. The sudden commotion startled Play-Doh, causing him to bolt and flee into the dense underbrush. Their friend quickly checked on Susan, and upon realizing she was unharmed, set off in pursuit of the runaway horse. By the time she reached the spot where Play-Doh had vanished, he had disappeared without a trace into the thick foliage. Play-Doh still wore neon-colored tack, offering a glimmer of hope, but Susan knew better than to rely solely on that beacon. Determined to recover her beloved horse, Susan wasted no time upon returning to the campground. She sought help from anyone and everyone she could reach out to, including the police. Susan initiated an all-out effort to bring Play-Doh home. A Facebook page was created to raise awareness about the missing horse, and posters were distributed throughout the area. Local news outlets even reported on the horse's disappearance. A multitude of individuals and organizations rallied to aid Susan in her quest. Notable contributors included the Howard County, Maryland Police, the Maryland State Police, and the League of Maryland Horsemen Club. Additionally, the outdoor community, including regular hikers and bikers in the park, joined the search. The Horse Club even provided additional horses to expand the search party's reach, combing every possible area. Despite the collective efforts of many, Play-Doh remained elusive, leaving no traces of his gear entangled in the surroundings. Susan's anguish was immeasurable. She explored every conceivable avenue, including discussions with individuals who possessed helicopters and drones. Unfortunately, the dense terrain thwarted their attempts to locate the missing horse. The search for Play-Doh had become a heart-rending and seemingly endless endeavor, leaving Susan with a heavy heart and the persistent hope that one day, her beloved horse would return home. The anguish of not knowing Play-Doh's whereabouts tormented Susan. Sleep eluded her, and each morning brought renewed hope that her beloved horse might have miraculously returned to the campsite. Yet those hopes were consistently dashed. She retraced her steps to the spot where she had last seen him, but Play-Doh was nowhere in sight. Their Facebook posts garnered thousands of shares, and the news continued to broadcast their story, amplifying its reach. The outpouring of support was overwhelming. Susan received numerous phone calls from concerned individuals, some seeking updates and others offering assistance. Then, on the 10th day since Play-Doh had vanished, Susan received the phone call she had been desperately awaiting. Someone had found a horse matching Play-Doh's description. Susan wasted no time and rushed to the farm where the horse had been discovered. From a distance, the horse appeared to resemble Play-Doh in color and size, but as she approached, Susan realized that it was not her beloved companion. This horse had strayed from a neighboring farm, and its rightful owners were relieved to have it back. However, Susan's anguish remained unabated. 12 days had passed since Play-Doh's disappearance. Meanwhile, about 3 miles from the accident site, 3 friends were gearing up for a hike on another trail. Emily Perryman, Vlad Constantina, and David Sugar set out from the Woodstock Inn, where they noticed a lost horse sign at the trailhead. They found it perplexing that someone could lose an entire horse, leading to lighthearted banter as they embarked on their hike. As they trekked along the trail, they heard rustling in the bushes. Initially cautious, they decided to investigate, brandishing their flashlights nervously. Drawing closer, they were stunned to discover a horse standing among the trees, unaccompanied by a rider. The horse was entangled in the trees by its leash but seemed approachable. They could still see the saddle intact, albeit askew. The horse, visibly distressed and frightened, responded to their soft-spoken reassurances. The trio carefully freed the horse, unable to fathom that they had stumbled upon the horse from the missing posters. Leading the horse back to the inn, they were relieved to see it could walk after 12 days of being on its own. Recognizing the urgency, they promptly contacted the horse's owner. When Susan received a call from New Jersey, she hesitated to answer, overwhelmed by the countless calls she had received. Nonetheless, she picked up, though the call quality was less than ideal. She made out Emily's voice saying they had found her horse. Susan was initially apprehensive, fearing it might not be Play-Doh again. However, when she arrived at the scene, her elation was boundless. They had indeed found Play-Doh. Play-Doh appeared just as delighted to reunite with his human mom, nuzzling her shoulder as if expressing gratitude for her determined search. The reunion was nothing short of miraculous, given the long duration of his absence and the countless potential perils he could have faced. Upon closer examination, they made an astonishing discovery. Play-Doh was remarkably healthy considering his ordeal. Some minor cuts and scratches resulted from the rubbing of his tack and saddle. He also had a larger cut on his leg, but overall, he was in good condition. He hadn't lost weight or suffered from dehydration, likely due to his ability to forage on lush plants and find water in the park. Thanks to the collective efforts of those who cared about Susan and Play-Doh, they were soon able to return home together. Play-Doh was back on the trails, riding alongside Susan once more. Their remarkable story serves as a testament to the power of determination, hope, and the kindness of strangers. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more incredible stories.